Trigger warning. Please reconsider watching this video if you are sensitive to topics such as depression, self-harm, anxiety, suicide, etc. Thank you and enjoy the video. Hello everyone, this is 909 and we should stop romanticizing mental illnesses. According to Google definitions, the word romanticizing is dealing with or describing in an idealized or unrealistic fashion makes something seem better or more appealing than it really is. For example, people usually romanticize their past relationship with their exes or their entire past, especially if their moments from the past were mostly, and I repeat, mostly toxic. In my opinion, romanticizing something is usually a bad thing, but of course there can be more positive times when you can romanticize something or someone. For example, there exists a TC community, aka the true crime community, where most of the people are only interested in the crimes, the logic behind the crimes, etc. But of course, there is some portion of the community that almost fetishizes over people like Ted Bundy and makes them seem like good people that did nothing wrong. This would be the bad thing about romanticization. But you can also romanticize something like something innocent, like a certain activity, when you want to encourage a child to do this certain activity. This would be the good thing about romanticization. Now back to the topic of mental illnesses. Probably almost every single person at least once romanticized something about mental illnesses. For example, using mental illness as an adjective like, I put everything in its right order. Oh my god, my OCD is so bad. Or, that kid looks retarded. Look how dumb he's acting. No, Angela, that kid isn't retarded because he is dabbing in 2020. No, you don't have OCD just because you put your pencils and textbooks where they're supposed to be. OCD, retardation, and other mental illnesses are much more than that. On social media, you can encounter someone or something romanticizing mental illnesses anywhere, but mostly on Tumblr. There is many posts written by 13-year-old girls that think they have depression just because they listen to Billie Eilish. Their 1-month boyfriend broke up with them, and mostly because they think that depression equals sadness. But as I said before, depression and other mental illnesses are much more than that. Depression usually is chemical imbalance in your brain, which mainly causes you to feel sad, moodier, but usually empty. And no, Angela, people with depression don't always look like people who never smile, who cry themselves to sleep, and are suicidal or do activities like smoking, drinking alcohol, and self-harm. Actually, most of the people suffering from depression are the funniest and kindest people you can ever meet, and you can barely notice that they are secretly hurting inside. So, as a form of homework, ask people how they feel and let them know you care about them. Now, let us finally look at some photos from social media that romanticize mental illnesses. I think suicidal people are just angels that want to go home. This is quite a popular quote you can see while surfing on the internet, along with her eyes run out of tears to shed. So she forced her skin to cry instead. And what is depression like? He whispered. It's like drowning, except you can see everyone around you breathing. And it feels like the entire universe runs through my veins, and sometimes I just need to let it out. And others with pictures like these are quite popular on sites like Tumblr. These 4 photos look really poetic, mysterious, and tragic and beautiful, but in reality, suicide, depression, and self-harm are not that beautiful or something like that. Depression makes it harder for you to get out of bed, to not do anything at all the entire day, feeling tired, etc. So you're just laying in your bed while your room looks like a mess. You yourself look like a mess because you have trouble doing simple tasks like showering, brushing your teeth, or eating, and all of that is happening just because your mind is a mess. You look sad today. Yeah, I'm sad every day. I just didn't have the energy to hide it today. A lot of people with depression might think this when someone says, "You look sad today." And I would just like to say that you don't need to hide your sadness, depression, suicidal thoughts, etc. Because the sooner you tell someone about it, the sooner you'll get help. Of course, not everyone can tell someone about their problems, but in case you fear you might do something to yourself, at least try to call a hotline. Some of the hotlines may not even send you help, but they are there to at least listen, and sometimes that may change a lot. I don't want to feel like this anymore. Dear me, you're nothing. So, about this one, look how many likes or notes this one post has. I know a lot of people would think, if I look at sad stuff, it would help me vent somehow and I'll feel better, right? And I know a lot of people believe this, but in reality, looking at these sorts of photos will make you fall deeper into the hole that you're in. Now, sad poetic photos aside, let's look at merch. Yes, there exists merch about mental illnesses because someone thought it would be a good idea to get money from this. I have OCD, but I only clean things when I'm in the mood because I'm also bipolar. I hate being bipolar, and it's awesome. OCD, Obsessive Christmas Disorder. Oh, okay, so these cover the topic of OCD and bipolar. Let me say, as someone gave me that obsessive Christmas disorder sweater on Christmas, I think I would at least slap them across the face, because I wouldn't wear it even if it was given to me as a joke, for shits and giggles. No coffee? Ugh, depresso. And there are some necklaces with words depression and anxiety. The depresso shirt, I actually saw this one on social media a lot and I kinda don't get it. Why can't it be something like, we have no coffee? Crap, I'ma just go to a cafe and order an espresso for my sad esso. That joke probably isn't funny. And those necklaces, I thought maybe if your name was depression or anxiety, then maybe it would be okay, since necklaces with your name exist. So then it would be normal, but your parent wouldn't be, because what kind of fucked up parent would give their child name like anxiety or depression? There is this blue hoodie with the word suicide and probably the same word, suicide, but written maybe like Japanese or Chinese. And the second one, and here I thought that depresso shirt was one of the worst. These two they're so fucked up. Who in their right mind would want to wear someone's suicide note on a shirt? And that blue suicide hoodie, well, it isn't as bad as the other one, but still, no, just why? Oh, I almost forgot. Let us talk about 13 Reasons Why. I only watched the first season, but that doesn't matter. So, 13 Reasons Why is a show about a girl, Hannah Baker, that commits suicide, but before that, she records 13 tapes telling why she took her own life. When these tapes get to the hands of the guy that fell in love with Hannah, Clay, he and the audience learn what were those 13 reasons why Hannah Baker took her own life. When I watched this show, some of the reasons seemed too small, like they weren't a big deal as to why someone would take their own life. But of course, I'm not saying that it isn't possible to be a reason as to why someone took their own life. Later in the show were some really fucked up things that happened, in which I am talking about rape and groping. It was really uncomfortable for me to watch. About Hannah, you can see on Tumblr a lot of sad posts with her in a photo with some of her quotes, and I wonder, if there wasn't a beautiful girl, would someone still make posts about it with them and her quotes and photo? Most of the people wouldn't. Also, at the end of the show, we can see Hannah Baker committing suicide, and to a lot of people, it might seem like too much. My opinion As someone who deals with suicidal thoughts for a short while, it made me rethink if I should one day actually commit suicide. And because of that scene, I still think from time to time if I should or shouldn't one day kill myself. So I think the people who made the show did a good job with the suicide scene. Anyway, there is this one person called Sky, and she self-harms, and when Clay finds out about it, Sky says, "That's what you do instead of killing yourself. Suicide is for the weak." And oh my god, that was such a bad thing to say to someone, and especially on a TV show, because a lot of people, especially children and teens, might start to think maybe that's what I should do. And also, suicide isn't for the weak. Actually, people who commit suicide are maybe the strongest people you will ever meet because they've been battling pain and they've been hurting so much for such a long time that they decide to stop living. They literally make the biggest and hardest decision of their life to stop existing. So, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I try to be as honest as possible, so I'm really sorry if you've been somehow offended by something I said. I don't really want this video to be too serious, so I added some lame jokes, and yeah, it's my time to leave, so bye bye.